Hi, Chris Tenny-Brittian, and it is good to be here with you for this syllabus overview. Make sure you watch it all the way through. You'll understand why when we get to the end or near the end, perhaps. Surprise. All right, what you need to have right now is either your syllabus printed out in your hand or the syllabus pulled up on your screen, and you can toggle over to it or click over to it, however you get to that, so that you can walk through with me. So I'm going to give you a moment to do that, or you can pause if you need to print it out, and we'll go from there. All right, so go ahead and get it. Maybe I can sing money. No, I meant music, not money. Okay, I'm going to toggle over now. All right, all of my syllabi look the same pretty much. So if you've had me in a course before, pretty much the same expectations. It may look slightly different. I continue to grade it, update it, of course, as we move along. It is imperative that you review this syllabus and that you use this to look at and to get your weekly assignments. You'll see why in a moment. So there I post the weekly assignments there on the beginning page, right? The landing page. I don't even know what we call those, but the landing page for that particular week. So, in week 1, I'm referring to that as the landing page for week 1. And you would find what the assignments are, but rely on the syllabus. If there is a discrepancy between the syllabus and what is on the landing site, then refer to the syllabus. If you're not sure I'll catch it, that I don't know there's a mistake, because I do try to catch and correct everything. If it's not correct, please call me or drop me an email, and I will be able to get that from you. I am having trouble accessing and using the message system there on Moodle. So if you'll text me or email me, because my numbers don't receive text. So if you will email me at drkristb, drkristb stands for Dr. Chris Tenny-Brittian, not T-B, just TB, drkristb at effectivechurch.com. EFFECTIVECHURCH, effectivechurch.com. All right, so always use that to send messages to me. That's another piece. If you want me to see them, you need to email me there, not through Moodle. All right, let's see, what else do I want to say about that part? Need to make sure that if there is a discrepancy, you let me know. The discrepancy 9 times out of 10 is going to be what I put into the online part, the landing page overview there, because my fingers don't always type, particularly numbers. That was the lowest part. I always got the lowest grade I got in typing was numbers. Okay, so you do want to check with me on that. And anytime I change the syllabus, so anytime I change the syllabus, I'm going to send a note out to you. It'll come via email, and it will let you know where I've made changes in the syllabus for that week. All right, that being said, let's walk through this. As you can see at the top, it tells you what the course is, and of course it's got the course description all of this is presented through Phillips School of Theology, or yes, Theological Seminary. Do that all the time. PTS, Phillips Theological Seminary, not cemetery. And we go through the course components. The course comprises readings from both required texts and supplemental resources. Supplemental resources are posted over on section 9. So each section is for that particular week. Section 9 is where I place supplemental resources. I want to say that as additional and supplemental resources. You'll notice that there is a particular way that I code those. When you see the number is the week to which it applies, and then you'll see either A or S and the number. That's the count. A means assigned. That means you are expected to read it if it's a written passage. Sometimes, like the first week, it's a graft. And so A is that. S is supplement. It's there. It's something that you might want to read. Probably should read, but it isn't totally apropos and totally applicable to what the questions are for the week. Remember that we all start with C's, right? Every discussion forum basically is a C discussion forum unless you add additional materials. You refer to additional materials. And if you're using those assigned readings, actually you have to use the assigned readings in your responses. But when you're referring to something specifically in that assigned reading, or better yet, in the supplemental reading, you can refer to that by the readings number, or no, actually, I would prefer if you refer to that either by the author or by the, just the shortened title in it. All right, so there are readings, both required and assigned and supplemental resources. There are the weekly video lectures. We call those the vid lectures. You'll have your weekly devotional. This is to say, I expect you to be reading scripture as close to daily as possible. We preacher types and teacher types tend to rely only on the scripture that we're using for that particular week. That's not devotional. You can't and you will not convince me otherwise. So because when we're not reading it devotionally, our brain is going in that direction. I want to know what you've read devotionally, such as I read 1 Kings chapter 3 verses 1 through 16, and then you're to respond, what attacked me? What convicted me this week? What confused me? What excited me? Or what scared me in what I read? Not all of them, not more than, well, you could have 2 perhaps, but I want you to rest on that. Don't make it a Bible study. Don't make it a sermon. Just what excited you, or let's go through this. What attacked you? What confused you? What excited you? And or what scared you and why? Okay. Online discussion forums. The forum participation is highly interactive, and it is required from Tuesday through Saturday at noon. Tuesday through Saturday at noon. That means every day you need to be posting something, either original or interacting. Everybody posts. Well, I don't want to go there. You'll just read the instructions for the discussion forums. You read those for each week. All right. You'll have a final assignment. Again, below in this syllabus, you will see what the date is. Always by the 6th week of class, I'll post up there what the assignment is. and then you'll have there's an optional end of week live session. It's on Zoom. It's where we're able to interact. You can ask questions if you've got specific questions. If you've looked ahead at the readings, then you may have a question about the readings. I may have something I want to say or need to say about the next week, or sometimes through reading responses, I want to respond to that in some way. And on the online discussion forums, when you're interacting or as you're interacting, I don't interact. I read, but the only time I will interact before you all post interactions is when I need to make a corrective, when the facts have been totally skewed, or how you're responding is totally off. All right, so you'll see me do correctives before everybody has a chance to interact or begins to interact. Because I don't want to skew your interactions and your responses. I'll begin to interact after that, but I am reading, know that. All right. If you're unable to fulfill any of these course components, then you need to postpone taking this course until you're able to fully participate. Watching this overview, it's not too late for you to say, I can't fully participate right now. I'm not able to participate right now, but I'll pick it up when I'm able to. There's no prerequisite for this course, and then the overall objectives. Actually, I need to say this. I use this overview for multiple courses, so it may be there is a prerequisite, and if you've not taken it, if you've kind of slipped through the administrative cracks, then we need to talk about that. All right, overall objectives. These are based on the, these are based on the Disciples of Christ objectives for each of their skills and ministerial practices. So we've made those our overall objectives, and by the end of this course, we'll have covered all of these, and depending on what your denominational affiliation is, these may satisfy what their needs are. So you'll be able to show the completion of these. In that regard, you may want to save, and there is a way to save the discussion forums, and that way you can archive them and print those out. You may want to do that so you're able to show your work, what you're capable of to your judicatory licensing or commissioning or ordaining boards. Right, there we go. Required texts. Make sure you have all of those required texts. We've been asked about copying text. The only time you can copy a text is if you are delayed in receiving it. If you've entered the course late, or if for some reason it's backlogged, be sure that you have those. That you can talk to Emma, and she'll work with you to get copies of these first, opening pages, the first chapter, perhaps the preface. But it is copyright infringement if you copy any of the whole texts. So do not do that. All right. Course requirements. Acquire the required text and remain current on all assignments. Don't get behind. Carefully and thoughtfully engage each week's readings, additional resources, the vid lecture, the discussion forum questions. I know when you have not used our readings or the additional required assigned resources. I know when you don't listen to the vid lecture, and I know obviously, when you're not participating on the discussion forum and not doing that at depth. I don't care what your opinion is on a reading or on what someone else has written. I want you, this is a conversation. So what I want you to do is bring, could be an opposing view. It could be a question to the person who has started that post or has interacted already with that post. You don't have to just interact with the poster, initial poster. You can interact with the others that are interacting there. Remember that part of this, we learn from one another. And so this is a discussion. This is interaction. We learn from each other and we teach each other, right? All right. So you're gonna participate in that discussion forum. The times change based on what is the course and what is dictated to us through the offices. Our administrative offices. So make sure that you check on these times and dates. And as I'm going through this particular syllabus, I understand and see that I've got a mistake that I have to fix. Okay. Remember, you have to post through noon, until noon, not through noon, until noon on Saturday. That means you have to post on Saturday. You may not be able to post at 11 on Saturday. You may not be able to post at 10 or 11:30, but you've got until noon on Saturday, and you have to post on Saturday, except when you go to the end of week session. So if you can't post, try to get to the end of week session. We've had people who've come on the phone. We've had people who've popped in at work, but they have to pop out for a few minutes or even for the rest of the session. And they've just emailed me and said, hey, I got called onto the floor. Hey, this happened and I had to go there. At least get it started or come in late. Okay. If you come in late, though, know that if no one's there by 10 after 9, then I just close down the forum. So I don't sit there until later at that. If no one is there until 9:10, if you show up at 9:12, 9:15, it won't be there. Okay. No posting afternoon on Saturdays. There it was that. Because I totally believe in Sabbath, and I know those of you who are serving in a church in some capacity, leadership capacity, that you need to get ready for the service or for your teaching. So we do not post afternoon on Saturday. I keep saying that, don't I? Because I'm really, really strict about this. We're not posting because we are. Excuse me, a text message just came through. All right, so we are not posting so that you can hopefully take Saturday afternoon for respite, or maybe you don't have a church responsibility on Sunday. Respite for sure. I also know that a lot of us are writing our sermons at the on Saturday afternoon or in any moment that we can get. All right. So, anyways, that's all why we don't post afternoon. It's also why we don't. Yeah. Okay. Enough said. We don't post on Sundays. Take the day off from class at least. Discussion forum response and interactions, thoughtful, thorough, thoughtful, respectful, respect. I don't tolerate at all, and I'm pretty easygoing, but I don't tolerate at all disrespect. So please don't mention evangelicals or conservatives or fundamentalists, and don't refer to liberals or progressives or anything along those lines, unless you're doing that in maybe some type of complimentary way. Or I understand that, but whatever you do, don't allow for any kind of derogatory derogatory possibilities. If you do that the first time, we will speak about that, or I'll drop you an email. Won't be within the forum, more than likely. You more than likely will need to make an apology or edit your post, and if it happens a second time, then you, Leslie, our director, and I will be having further conversation. Um, Engage in collaborative learning. You've got all of these pieces here. So respect, respect, respect. No flaming. All right. If you have standing appointments or obligations on the days that your posting are due, then respond before that. Okay, so the earlier you can respond, the better, because if when you don't respond earlier than later, your course mates aren't able to interact with you. Your course mates, their grade may be jeopardized when you don't post until later because they're not able to interact with you. And it's just plain old disrespectful to your course mates. And just as important, I've had too many students wait to the deadline to post, and something comes up and they're not able to post at all. If you have an emergency, or if you know of something that will be coming up, like a wedding, a family member is ill. I mean, we've covered all kinds of emergencies and, things, a surgery, which has been scheduled, a wedding that has been scheduled for a year that uh, you need to go to that wedding, then out of town for the wedding, right? Not just because you have a wedding on Saturday and you need to show up, but if you have a wedding out of town planned, then you need to let me know. If you have a new baby that you're anticipating, yours or someone very, very close to you, that you need to be there and of assistance, say a sibling or your mom. No, it could be your mom. If it or your your daughter. Let's try that. If you see any of that or your own, please let me know in advance. Okay. Be sure to check the grading matrix if you haven't already. We're going to look at that in a moment. C is the average grade. A C is fine, and everybody starts with that. As I've said, if you want an A or a B, it will tell you what you need to do. If you don't post on time, if you don't post at all, if you are so beyond off topic, then you're going to get a D or an F in the course. If you're failing the course, I will let you know before the end of the course and before you've reached the point of no return. Again, we've had students have emergencies that they can't overcome. We have had students that are having personal life issues. We have had students that are just plain old lazy. If you don't post for 2 weeks, then you'll have to drop the course and take it again. 6 out of 8 weeks is not enough to pass this course. And because my courses are so interactive and depend on the interactions, because there's only a final assignment, you can't make up a week. There's no way that that it can be reclaimed. All right. Just to be clear, A, you're expected to participate in the discussion forums earlier rather than later, but only after you've engaged the readings, the vid lecture, and the resources, not before. Do not start with the discussion forum. Again, I know when you have not engaged with the resources, readings, and whatnot for the week. You're not to interact with CourseMates post until you've posted your initial responses on each discussion forum. Students automatically earn a D when they fail to begin interacting with the post on each of their, or by each of their assigned discussion forums by the times and days. that are listed in the syllabus. Let's see, let's see, what else do I want to say with that? Yes, okay. Students' grades are affected when they fail to post into Saturday morning. There's no way you can earn an A or a B for that week if you don't post at some point on Saturday morning. And you know what? That could be even 2 a.m. on Saturday morning. We've had that. I don't recommend that. Not a good idea, but it's happened. Let's see. You come to this end of week session at 9 a.m. You are exempt from posting on Saturday, and there are to be no politics and no theology bashing. Respect, respect, respect. Oh, yes, not only with the theology commentaries, politics. Nothing about Republicans, nothing about Democrats, nothing about liberals, nothing about conservatories, nothing about the topic du jour in the media. We are not going there because, one, this is a disciple seminary and we cover all the gamuts. And the other piece about disciples of Christ is we believe each person has something to bring to the table, and it's discussion through that. So we're not going to get topic focused, not the place. Okay, discussion forum deadlines for this or your course, this particular course, are there. And when you submit your written assignments, you're to do that in PDF format. If you don't know how to put something from Word into a PDF file or whatever you use, Pages, I think is the Microsoft the Apple platform. If you don't know how to do that, then ask somebody. Please don't ask me. Find somebody to do this and email it. Okay. Again, I know other professors or instructors require you to post it or to submit it through Moodle. I don't work that way. Always email. Email it to me. My email is right there. And you know what? I gave you the wrong email up front. It is not drkristb at Effective Church. That's my Gmail account. It's chris@effectivechurch.com. Chris. Don't need anything else but Chris with a K. Hey, that is your discussion forum response. As I have said, there's something hidden in here, and up on that mystery discussion forum, the response that you're to put there is chris@effectivechurch.com. Okay. All right. There it is. Actually, yeah, we'll do it that way. Okay. All times are in Central, and they're just in case you don't know what your time is, it's there for you. So all our due dates are in Central Time. Even if you're on the Pacific Coast. Again, you have Mondays and Tuesdays to respond, and that allows you to get it there in time. The evening before. All right. Course expectations, complete each assignment before the due date and time. If you ever have questions or challenges, email me, or you may call me if I don't pick up. If I don't recognize your number, I will not pick up. So, and if I do recognize it, I'll pick up if I'm able. If I do not answer, please leave me a message with, give me at 3 times that I can call you back so that you'll be available. Respond to any emails I send you within 24 hours and properly acknowledge and cite all sources. If you're using an outside resource, you need to use a one of the documenting ways to document. Okay, and I'm not particular, APA or MLT, whatever that is. You can choose it. I'll know what you're doing. Just make sure that you put down what you need. You cite it. If you don't, that's a violation of Phillips policy, and it will be reported to the CMLT director, and it could result in expulsion. That's beyond me. Excuse me. Thank you. What else do I want to say? If you are citing something that's in the week's material or in a previous week's material, just, within parentheses, put the name, the author's name of what you've used, or if for some reason I couldn't find the author, just the title of what you're using. If a page number is there, comma, page number, end of parentheses. My part of this, I'll respond to your inquiries within 24 hours, and I'll have assignments graded soon after their due date. I really do shoot for a week, and I am notorious for not being able to do that, and many of you know that. Let's see, and you're going to email me your final assignments. I don't give assignments during the middle of class. I used to. I don't tend to. I've got one that I may, and maybe it's this one that you're watching this for. But you'll see. You'll know whether or not you've got an assignment and when it's due. Phillips policies to note, just go through there. Cultural mutual respect, professional behavior, etiquette. You can look at the training program's policies. If you don't have that, contact our office. Academic honesty policy and principles, the inclusive language policy. And here's our discussion forum grading matrix. I'm not going to read this to you. I want you to read it. And if you have questions, you can email me, all right? Or you know what? If you have questions about this, call me, because it's going to be easier to talk through this. All right. As I said, everyone starts with a C, and we move on from there. Weight of the assignments, 25% initial response to a forum, 55% for your interactions, and 20% final assignment. If you miss 2 weeks, either responding to the initially responding or to interacting, then you'll have to, without my prior approval, which is rare in those cases, then you'll fail the course or you'll have to withdraw. And then we get into the assignments by week. Discussion forum deadlines are there. The readings are posted. Read first, vid lecture second. Look at your discussion forum. There are your responding times. And then the optional end of the week session. That contact information, or that end of week session. The Zoom room key is always the same. Almost always, unless there's some kind of technical difficulty. I've had to switch it twice now since I started using or applying the end of week session. So just check that. Again, if I have to change something to this syllabus, I'll send out an email so that you know that. And then there's your final assignment. Before I tell you about your final assignment, let me give you the second tell of whether or not you've listened through this overview. The second tell is this. On your first discussion forum, when you are responding to the what did you read in scripture last week, which is always discussion forum 1. On your last sentence, put 2 exclamation points. May not require an explanation point, but put 2 explanation points, and then I'll know in 2 different ways how you've whether or not you've watched the whole of this overview. All right, there's the date of your that your final assignment is due. It is due by noon on that date, and I will replace that final assignment. I'll explain it in week 6. I may have posted it already. I won't offer further explanation actually, but it will be posted. And everything that I offer, all of my courses, they are practical and applicable to your setting or a setting that you might work with at some future time. Let's see. In some of my courses, I've had a student or two over the period of time, and I've been teaching now for a long time. With the specifically for the Center for Ministry and Lay Training. It's been through about 4 iterations over the years, and for each of those, I've taught through to Phillips. Anyways, students along the way have said, "Oh, the books she's using are old books," or "Why isn't she using these?" Or what's something more updated. You'll find in the discussion forums that we take the basic readings and then we play with them and we apply them. I always want them to be applicable to your setting, or again, whatever that setting may be. And you may not be a pastor in a church, but I'm presuming you're a leader in the church. And if you're taking this, or you may be a leader in your church at some future date. Maybe you're being groomed, maybe you're not, but you're thinking you have a call. If that is not you, then then it's important that we have a conversation, because I can give you scenarios, case studies to work with along the way. So I use the resources I use because they are basics. And what I have found over and over again in my studies, in my consulting, in my coaching, is that, as Ecclesiastes author wrote, nothing is new under the sun. Even works that are 40 and 50 years old, the more modern ones, right, that I may refer to, are just saying it in a slightly different way. And I want to use the tried and true that's been used across the board. And then we're going to jump off from there. Okay? So your final assignment is going to reflect, or reflects, what you've learned. It applies what you've learned and adapts it perhaps. Oh yeah, it's going to adapt it. I want you to adapt it and bring in other resources to fit your setting. All right. You know how to treat this overview, what you need to do next. And just thank you. I know that this is a long recording, but it's so important. And I know that whole introductory, those first few pages, are very, very long and can be very, very daunting. But trust me, it's akin to McDonald's that has to put on their cups. Contents very, very hot. Be careful, don't burn yourself. It's there for a reason, because somebody did. And that's why I have these here. All of this comes from experience and people not stepping up to the plate, people not doing the work, people not doing the basic work. So I want to be clear, because I'm trusting you want to do a great job. You want to be a better person. You want to be a better church leader, a better pastor. And you're going to do the work when we're done. All right. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you for being in this course. And I look forward to learning from you all the way along, because I will. I always do.